Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. So let's talk about the difference between sciatic nerve pain and something way worse. Hello everyone, my name is Shell Nicole. I am a spiritualist, mother of five, stay-at-home wife and mom, and I suffer from lumbar spinal stenosis. I have been dealing with this diagnosis since 2022. I gave birth to our daughter February 28th of 2022. And shortly after, I want to say about roughly 6 to 8 weeks after having her, I started to experience really bad sciatic nerve pain. So I decided one day when I got off work, because I was working at a pharmacy chain I will not name, I started to have really bad pains where I couldn't bend, I couldn't twist. It's a lot that I could not do. I had to literally go home and rest before doing anything else. And I noticed that after each and every day of experiencing this pain, I began to lose my mobility in some sense. So I ended up seeing a chiropractor for about 2 months roughly. So we're going to put this around April of me having really bad pain, May and June of having adjustments done by a chiropractor. I had an X-ray done and everything. The X-ray did not show a lot, but after going to my adjustments with my chiropractor, I noticed that she could not adjust my L5, and that was my trouble area. Well, around August, September of 2022, I woke up one day to get my 6-month-old daughter from crying and could not feel my legs. So, September 2022, I got up to get my daughter, fell on the floor, boom, could not feel my legs. I luckily had an Apple phone. I just asked Siri to call my mom, and I called 911 emergency services. I got my 8-year-old at the time to unlock the door for my mom, and I was rushed to the hospital. They did a series of tests to see what was going on with me, and I found out from that particular hospital visit that I had a herniated disc, but that was not all I had. I had a herniated disc with lumbar spinal stenosis, and I also have something called degenerative disc disease. So my problem areas is my L4 and, and S, not my L4, sorry, my L5 and S1, which is the sacral root. So it's technically the bottom of your spine and the root of your nerves that connects your spine to your body. So I have been dealing with this on and off since 2022. My first procedure done on my spine, I had a steroidal block. That gave me some relief. However, my husband did have questions about it, and so did I. I was getting this block, but did the block fix the issue? No. The block only gave me blockage from feeling that nerve, that disc hit that nerve. So I eventually asked for surgery, but this was after receiving a second block in January of 2023. Time progressed. I had no physical therapy between that time of January 2023 and my first physical surgery, which was a lumbar decompression on my right side in August of 2023. So I have walked y'all through the first part. Let me go ahead and go through the rest of it. I'm going to cut this and come back. So fast forwarding to my first major surgery, which was a lumbar decompression on my right side, that was done in August of 2023 in hopes to have some type of relief. I can let you know during this time I have symptoms of hamstring pulling, nerve pain on my right side, and I had some numbing or what you call saddle anesthesia in between my legs, my girly parts, and under my buttocks on my left side. So after they performed that procedure, their goal was to go ahead and relieve that nerve pain and relieve that saddle anesthesia, but that never happened. I went through aqua therapy for about roughly 3.5, 4 months, and that pushed me to January of this year. So after finishing my aqua therapy, we re-evaluated. Nothing had really changed. I still wasn't being able to sit down and work. I wasn't able to stand up for a long period of time. I was really restricted on my mobility when it comes to being a stay-at-home mom and wife. It was a lot of things that I could not do. I had to get help out of the bed every day. So it was a lot going on behind the scenes. And I did make sure that I did tell my doctors these things. And they decided to go ahead and go with a second decompression, but this time it was on the left and the right side of my lumbar. Okay, y'all, I had to turn on my side because my phone's about to die, but I'm going to go ahead and continue. So I had my second lumbar decompression on left and right side, and again, their goal was to relieve the spinal pain, the nerve pain that I was having, and the saddle anesthesia. That did not help. Guess what they decided to do? Send me to pain management. And this doctor was totally a prick. I would not name this doctor for illegal purposes, but this doctor told me, if you wanted to go back to work, you would go ahead and let us do screws and rods on your spine, or you would get the device. To me, as a healthcare professional, I had several questions. If I have a degenerative disc disease, why are you wanting to weaken my foundation by putting screws and rods? That did not make any sense to me. Why weren't I given any more options other than these two? So when I told him that I'll think about it, but I'm really not 100% sure on doing these surgeries, can we do another block? He gave me a block in April, which was literally 4 weeks after having my spine cut open. And I am going to stop here and insert some of the pictures of what my spine looked like after they did my second lumbar decompression. And viewer discretion is advised, so prepare yourself. When I say this recovery the second time around was worse, the first time around, I really didn't have that much swelling. They gave me liquid stitches. After doing the second lumbar, they decided to use regular stitches, and they told me that the reason why it looks the way it looks is because I had a large reaction to the stitches. Never heard of such thing, but okay. We're going to fast forward a little bit more. So I had my spinal block done in April of 2024. And here it is, October 1st, and y'all see where I'm at. I'm in the hospital. Why? Because as of yesterday, September 29th of 2024, I got up again to get our daughter and could not walk. And all of the side effects that I have been telling you guys in this video started to worsen. So I went to my appointment with the same, it's giving me a thumbs down, that's funny, but this is exactly how I feel. But I went to the same clinic and they immediately rushed me to the ER. So what I can say between April of 2024 and now October 1st of 2024, June, I had a fall. I took a fall down the stairs. We had recently just moved and I fell down the stairs, and I did communicate that with my doctor. At the time, the only thing they were able to do was do an MRI. And I'm going to stop this video and continue on. Okay. So I took a stumble down the stairs, and I did communicate that to my doctor's office. And only at the time they did an X-ray, and they stated that they did not see any changes in my spinal condition, and they wanted me to do therapy. However, my insurance started to bug at this point. They were wanting to know, why am I needing more blocks? Why am I needing more procedures done? What is it that y'all are not doing? And why do we keep having to pay for these things? So I get it. It's an insurance company. They want to know exactly where that money is going. I get that. Not going to be mad at them for that. But what I am upset is I physically went to my doctor's office and let them know about the fall. 2 weeks after it happened. I told them the week that it happened, actually the next day, they scheduled me to be seen 2 weeks after. So I went to the appointment, they did the X-ray, they said that nothing would change. They wanted to go ahead and do physical therapy, and my insurance for some reason stopped paying for physical therapy because I had all of these questions about what's going on with my spine. Totally get that. I'm going to stop the video one more time and drink some water. So this appointment was in June. Now we do have July and August. I went to another appointment and I let them know, like, y'all, I feel my spine declining. And they was like, oh, what do you mean that your spine is declining? Well, I can barely walk. I can barely bend. And my husband has to help me get out the bed. It's a lot of things that I cannot do that I was able to do. And now I'm not doing those things anymore. So I need help. They decided to go ahead and put me in for an MRI. And Cigna did they did give me the approval for the MRI, but y'all, I got the MRI done and I was actually admitted 2 days after doing the MRI. So I'm going to keep y'all updated on this journey, but if you do have sciatic nerve pain, please make sure that you're doing the best you can to be your advocate. please make sure that you're doing the best you can to make sure that you're getting the right tests done. An x-ray is not going to show you what's deep inside of your spine. Y'all get an MRI and check on your spinal health. So I'll be continuing this series the more I know. But as of right now, I'm in the hospital and I'm still not walking. So y'all stay tuned for this journey.